Hello, everybody, wherever you may be. My name's Larry. My call sign's Kilo 7 Hotel November. Welcome back to the Shack in Oregon. This is Ham Radio Live. Want to thank you very much for subscribing. Record numbers up on the channel, and my goodness, does that ever humble me. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for that. I mean it. People from around the world watch the show, and it does mean a lot. We try and help people get licensed and also license up and learn about great products in ham radio. You can even enjoy yourself. Plus, there's no commercials, so you don't have to worry about, hitting that skip ad button. It's designed to be watched or listened to from beginning to end. We've got a big, big show today. Hello, everybody, wherever you are, around the world. Welcome. It is truly an honor to do the show, and I mean that with all my heart. Folks, first of all, the Saturday show just couldn't happen. My brother was sick, and it's one of those things that you have to roll with it. His health is the most important thing. So for me, making sure that he's okay was more important than going and playing radio. So that didn't happen. Also, we ended up, I made a decision, and these decisions are never easy because I value the channel a lot. I really do. And helping people is so important to me because I missed out on so many years of ham radio not knowing Morse code. That's why learning code is so important here. And that's why we're going to do it today, later on. At the 45-minute mark of this show, join us if you want to learn code. Skip to that part if you're watching on replay. I promise we'll be there. For you folks in the United States and the UK that would like to license up today to the second level of the license exams, both in the United States and the UK, this show will help you, truly will. This is going to help you folks in the UK for the intermediate license, folks in the US for the general license. We'll go over test questions on both today. Plus, we'll do the Morse code, and I've got something really cool to share with you. One of the nicest emails I've received recently came from a man in Brazil. I want to share it with you. It says, "Greetings, Larry. My name is ADENOIR. I live in Brazil. I'm an amateur radio. My call sign's Papa Yankee 2, Sierra Kilo Yankee. Here in my city, I am a part of a group of young scouts. We have a project in which we teach the hobby of amateur radio to our boys and girls aged 14 and 15 years. Our young scouts are setting up a large QSL card display panel for radio stations in Brazil and other countries. This card, if possible, would be important for us to receive if we had one from you." That's an honor. Yes, you're getting the card. Absolutely. But I think the channel can help you better than that, because for scouts in Brazil to receive things so simple as a QSL card, I think we all could do that. If you've got a QSL card, let me continue. For our young people, this exchange of culture is very important. This card will have no value as a confirmation of contact, but as a collection item. It would be an honor to receive mail from so far from the post office. They love postage stamps from other countries. Collectible items will also warmly be welcomed. Looking forward to your correspondence. Hope to find you soon in the ham bands in better conditions for propagation. If you are a Boy Scout or have ever been part of the world of Scout movement, then you are my brother's Scout. Once a Boy Scout, always a Boy Scout. A big hug from the Scouts from Brazil. Health, peace, and good DX. 73, ADENOIR, Papa Whiskey 2, Sierra Kilo Yankee. You absolutely get that coming. And, coming your way to Brazil. Absolutely. And I'll write it out to your scout group with 5 9s across it. And we'll just say all the best to you folks there in Brazil. If you'd also like to send a QSL card to ADENOIR in Brazil, in the description section of this video, I'll have the address, the mailing address to send him a QSL card for his scouts. It would mean the world to them. So if you'd like to, take a look at that. Also, at the end of the show, you're going to see something that I never had seen before. I looked, I was like going, you got to be kidding me. This is from Soviet television. It's called a closedown. For US, that doesn't mean anything. Think of sign-off, television sign-off, same thing. But this is in the USSR right before the Cold War ended. Watch it. but pay attention to the subtitles because it will be subtitled in English. They go rather fast, but there's one section of it that I absolutely love where it says, no kidding, it is forbidden to consult your doctor.
Thank you.
Can you believe it? Yeah, true. Wait till you see it. It's at the end of the show. All right, let's get some hellos from around the world before we start the show today. We love it because this has become the ham radio gathering place. To me, that's humbling, and I thank you with all my heart. Stu Foster from Great Britain is in the house. Stu, welcome, mate. Good to see you, buddy. My love to Fozzie and your wife as well there. Thank you. Thanks for also the email yesterday. We'll talk about that in a moment. John's here from Canada. So we got 2 continents now. John, welcome. Good to see you. And check it out. 3rd continent in the house. Sly is back. Morning, guys and gals, all the way from Borneo. That's pretty cool. His call sign, 9 Mike 8 Sierra Lima. Sly, it's a really big honor to see you again on the show. This channel is about helping people. And one of the things that really, it was hard for me, I'll be really honest, is very hard because doing the channel is very important to me. Personally, it means a lot. And by the way, we've got some big congratulations to give. On Saturday, one of the folks that watches our channel, he happens to be a local guy too from West Salem, near where I live, just passed not only his general, but his amateur extra as well. That was Rod Clear. Rod, you did it, man. Congratulations, buddy. I'm so happy. I am so happy for you, Rod. Congratulations on that. And Rod sent me a very kind email, and it meant the world to me because he told me how the channel helped him to break down things simply and patiently. And I appreciate that. That's number 10. We've got 9 more to go to catch up on those 19 years that I missed. So let's get you so you don't miss years of getting higher in license and getting more frequencies. First question on the test. This is US side. On the general exam, which symbol in figure G7-1 represents an NPN, like Nancy Papa Nancy, junction transistor? It's down at the bottom right. It's symbol 2. When you see an NPN, the lower arrow is going to point downwards towards the outside of the triangle. Of the circle. NPN junction transistors will always point down at the bottom, okay? That's just the way it works. Your MOSFET transistor is right there at number 1. Remember, it has the arrow pointing in at the T. All transistors are a circle with a T in the center. Remember that. Easy to remember for your test. Next question we got for today's exam help for you. Again, this is not a substitute for study, but it is help for that test. And you see, I don't answer all the questions because some of them are repeats that we've done too many times. So I try and keep them as fresh as I can. Which of the following can be determined with a field strength meter? It's the radiation pattern of an antenna, okay? A field strength meter basically says where the signal is going in terms of its gain, okay? Where its strength is and where it falls away. That's what field strength meters do. They're basically just a meter, like a normal meter, but it helps you determine where that signal is getting really strong and where it weakens out. Field strength meters are brilliant for that, okay? Next question, with your comments as soon as we get through the US part. This is on the general. What does Mike Union Frank, otherwise known as MUF, stand for? MUF is the maximum usable frequency for communications between 2 points. Okay, in layman's terms, what this means, it's the highest frequency that you can use to make contact with another station. That's really what it means in basic terms. So the highest frequency, it might be on 17 meters, could be on 10, might be up on 6. But the point is, every day on propagation forecast charts, they'll show you the maximum usable frequencies, and it'll help you to know where you should work, okay? Try and work as close to the MUF as possible. It'll help you make the best QSOs. All right, next question. Where on Earth do ionospheric layers reach their maximum height? Now, remember, a couple weeks ago, we did a big section, 3 of them in a row on space, and we talked about the ionosphere and its importance in amateur radio. So when do they get the highest? This is really an interesting question, and it'll help you on your test, okay? The ionospheric layers reach their maximum height directly where the sun is overhead. So basically, right when the sun is right over the top of you, wherever that may be at the time of day, is when the ionosphere is at its highest. Now, this makes it real good to work daytime frequencies, okay? So like 20 meters, 17, 15, 12, 10, that's when you make the best calls because the ionosphere is as high as it can be. But you need to be above 40 meters because remember, the D layer is also highly charged and it tends to attenuate signals. But that E, F1, and F2 layer go higher because the ionosphere is highly charged more because all those sunspots, they charge up the ionosphere. Makes it easier to make calls long distance during the daytime. All right, next question on the general U.S. exam. In what segment of the 20-meter band are most PSK31 operations commonly found? Now, for layman's terms, in what segment of the 20-meter band are most digital operations found? Digital meaning text messaging, sending pictures, okay? It could be WSJT, could be working FT8, right? Okay, so where on the 20-meter band are you likely to find these signals? They're going to be below the radio teletype segment, near 14.070 megahertz. Typically, you find FT8 right around 14.074 or so, okay? So that's just FT8. But other digital modes like PSK31 are found in the same place. That's just simple. What you do if you wonder where those are at, take a look online. You'll find a little chart that'll show you where digital modes are located for each frequency. But for PSK31, it's below the radio teletype portion, okay? Right about 14.070 megahertz. All right, almost done with the general. Next question. What is the amateur auxiliary to the FCC? Okay, and we talked about this Friday. Remember, we talked about language, right? Using language that's inappropriate. We've all heard it on 75, and we've heard it on 80, haven't we, everybody?
Yes.
Okay, so we know it's there, but you've got to be careful. You can't just go on with long rag chews, chewing somebody out with foul language, profanity, and inappropriate behavior, because there are amateur volunteers who are formally enlisted to monitor the airwaves for rule violations. They can cause you to be held accountable for what you're doing. So you don't know where they're at. You don't know where they're listening. But in the U.S., please keep in mind, use the right language. Don't go profane on somebody and start screaming and cuss them out. Just turn the VFO and move somewhere else. Somebody starts chewing you out, turn your rig off or change the frequency, because you don't know if the amateur auxiliary to the FCC, and keep in mind what that says, the amateur auxiliary to the Federal Communications Commission. That means you could be in some big trouble if you make mistakes like that. Turn the VFO or turn the rig off. All right. Next question coming up. Let's see what we got today. Last one, I think, on the general. What's the first thing you should do if you are communicating with another amateur station and you hear a station in distress break in? All right, so you're having a rag chew with your buddy. Let's say you're in Wales, you're talking to your mate in Scotland, okay? And all of a sudden, someone breaks in saying this is an emergency. What do? You acknowledge the station in distress and determine what assistance may be needed. This is the same in the U.S. as it is in the U.K. It covers both tests, okay? You acknowledge the station in distress. You stop your rag chew. Stop talking to your chum. Your mate is secondary now. You determine what help might be needed to that station that's calling you that's in distress because it's an emergency, okay? All right. Now, away we go. Let's get going. One more in the general. Which mode is most commonly used for voice communications on the 17-meter and 12-meter bands? You might hear voice communications on the test and the FCC test, both for the amateur extra, for the general, and for the technician, noted as phone, like a telephone. but it's not phone, it's a microphone. So when they talk about voice communications, here they say voice, but they could also say phone. Keep that in mind, okay? We use upper sideband. Remember, upper sideband is used above 10 megahertz, okay? 17 meters, you're up at 18 megs. You're 12 meters, you're up on 25. So you're quite a ways up above 10, upper sideband. The only exception to that rule, remember, 10 megahertz and or higher is upper sideband. 10 megahertz or lower is lower sideband. The exception is 30 meters, okay? Sorry, 60 meters. 60 meters is upper sideband. And it was that way because the military, when they first had it, they set it up that way. That's the honest truth. That's it. So upper sideband is what's used on 17 meters, 15, 12, 10, 6, all the way up. Okay? That's what you use. You also use it on 30 meters for contact. Sorry, 60. I did it again. 60 meters for contacts there. All right, here we go. Next question. We'll get there on CW stuff. Under what circumstances are messages that are sent via digital modes exempt from Part 97 third-party rules that apply to their modes of communication? Let's put this in basic terms. All right. Are there any exceptions to the FCC rules when using digital communications? That's it. Okay. So text messaging, sending photos, doing FT8. Are there any exceptions to Part 97 rules allowed to you? The answer is no. Okay. Under no circumstances can you do this at all. You have to follow the rules of Part 97. That means messages can't be encrypted, can't be secret code, must be able to be understood by all people. The only weird exception to this, the only one, is if you're remote controlling a craft. Because it's not a person, it's a thing, okay? So when you're remote controlling, say, for example, a drone, okay? You don't have to worry about it because you don't have to identify yourself. You're remote controlling a thing, okay? Stuff's driving me crazy today. Sorry. You're remote controlling something, not talking to someone. But you can't do anything outside of Part 97 in digital modes except what's allowed, okay? So keep that in mind. All right. We're almost done with the U.S. 17 minutes in. Hang in there. What's the maximum symbol rate? Now, this means symbol rate in transmission permitted for radio teletype or data emission. So FT8, Olivia, Thor, Hellschreiber, the whole 9 yards. So basically text messaging or photos, whatever. What's the maximum symbol rate allowed for all of these modes on frequencies below 10 megahertz, which means 28 megahertz, which means the 10 meter band and lower. So between 160 meters and 10 meters, what's the maximum symbol rate you can use for radio teletype or data? It's always 300 baud. This is simple to help you with any question they may have. And there's a lot of them on the general and the technician and a few on the amateur extra, which ask, like, for example, what's the maximum symbol rate allowed on the 40 meter band? What's the maximum symbol rate allowed on the 14 megahertz band? Okay. It's always 300 baud. Just remember that. Anything below 10, so 10 meters or below is 300 baud. You'll have it. And that answers a lot of questions on the test too. So that's one to keep in mind. 300 baud, 10 meters or lower. Okay. So if you're at 28 megahertz, well, almost 28.9 or less, you're going to be at 300 baud. That means 10 meters, 12, 15, 17, 20, 30, 40, 60, 75, 80, and 160. The HF bands. Best way to remember it. All HF bands are limited to 300 baud. All right, here we go. Next question. On the general. Why should solder joints not be used with wires that connect the base of a tower to a system of ground rods? Why should you not solder the wires? The answer is A solder joint will likely be destroyed by the heat of a lightning strike. Just clamp your wires. Just put a clamp to them. You don't need to solder them. Okay, we don't need to get that technical. Take your ground wire and just clamp it tightly like you would your ground rod to your rig, or to, you see outside to your power box. It's the same thing. Just use a wire, clamp it to the ground rod, and that's it. You're good to go. Let's take some of those real quick before we get into the UK test. Steve Austin, it's your mate from Liverpool, England. Welcome. Doing great, Steve. Thanks for coming, man. Mate, it's always good to see you, Steven. I love it when you come. Thank you. You make the shows always better. And it's Jim. That's Mike 7, Bravo X-Ray Tango. Jim, it's an honor. Thanks for coming today. How's our station manager doing? Doing okay? I hope so. John's here. Great to see you too. And a great start to the show. Look at this. Hello to Brazil from a former member Boy Scout of America Troop 103, Southern Cal. My QSL card is on the way. Look at that. His QSL card's on the way to Brazil. Nicely done, John. His call sign, by the way, Kilo Juliet 7, November Delta Zulu. John, that's awesome. I'm proud of you. Thanks for doing that. Their address will be in the description of this video. Sly, my man in Borneo, is in the house. I'm learning something new again here. Much appreciated for all the help, Brenda. Oh, man, you're all right. Thank you very much. We need to do some more shortwave shows because that's a passion of mine. I've done it for so long, and I do ham radio all the time here. So it's like, we got to do some shortwave. We need to. That would be great. Tom is in the house all the way from Bahrain. Whoa. Tom says, hope you're enjoying the 590 Super Buy these days. No time for radio, so enjoy radio through your show. That's nice. Thanks, mate. Tom, bless you, man. I appreciate that. I got to share this with you. This is, and you'll understand, I hope. I've shared with you guys before. And by the way, Sean, before we go, Sean, my friend with the great antennas, he's a full licensee from Great Britain. You honor me by being here, Sean. Mike 0. I'm not going to make that mistake again. I just shuddered the times I did it the last 2 shows. Sean, forgive me. Really, I mean that. I'm so sorry. His call sign, and he earned it. Mike 0, Bravo Juliet Lima. It's a pleasure and honor. Thank you, Sean. Thank you. Okay, so getting back to what Tom said here about the 590, he knows how long I waited for one, right? So does Lizzie, whose name is Fred, who's a part of the channel too. He has a Kenwood 890, a rig I would love to have someday. But an opportunity came up to me that was hard to pass up. And I mean that, really hard to pass up. And it came just before the weekend. So here's the Kenwood TS590 already on the way to me. And here I am with the Kenwood coming. And here is a great opportunity to review a very good antenna product. Step IR got a hold of me. They saw, I guess, the video that I did regarding the urban beam and my, wanting to do it, but unable to do it. They made me an offer in exchange for showing it on the channel, how it works. Lots of QSO work with it at a reduced price, which made it affordable for me. Doing this is hard. And I don't get this stuff for free. You might be shocked, like all these radios I paid for, okay? Antennas, a lot of them I paid for. Some of them are given for reviews. That's being transparent. But to buy the Step by Our Urban Beam is a ton of money for me, even at a discount. We're not talking a ginormous discount. We're talking enough to make it affordable for me to buy. So doing that makes the 590 have to go away, okay? It also could make maybe the Flex or the 101 go. I don't think so. I think we'll probably sell a bunch of antennas. I don't want to sell this other microphone. I don't want to because I love it. This mic, I love going back and forth between the RE27 and the RE320 because they're both great mics. But I don't ever want to sell the 101. That's not going anywhere in the 5,000. So it's just one of those things. I'm closer with selling this. Also, the 2 meter 70 SEM XDR 400 is going to be returned back. That gives me about half the money to buy the Urban Beam. Gives me a solid directional antenna that I can share with you. And the cool thing is, if you have a Flex radio, a Signature Series, you have the chance to tap into my rig and work my rig from where you are. There's a lot that could be helpful to people there. So you have my apologies. I wanted Kenwood in the worst way for a long time to have on the channel, but to have the opportunity to get this antenna that will work on my property, which is hard to get a directional to fit on my land, I couldn't pass it up. So the Kenwood is being shipped to a gentleman in Illinois. He's going to get a wonderful transceiver. And the Yaesu unopened 400 XDR is going to be shipped back to Gigaparts, because this way I can finally have a directional antenna that works real well. And that's so important. It just is. I've always said that that should be a class in contest, because having a directional is like having an amplifier, sometimes better. So there you go. Tom, I had a QSL last week with a step AR beam owner in Papa Delta land. Had it up for 13 years with zero maintenance. Must be good. Great antenna. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate that. You know, I love Stepper. Stepper's close to me. It's only about 225 miles north. So I'll just go pick it up, save the shipping. But, you know, that was part of the thinking in buying it too. So this all happened at one time. And it was like, whoa, I can't turn this down. It's a step IR. I'd love to try it and be able to use it on the channel to show you guys what it does. Not only that, but long-term reviews too. That's so important, you guys, because, you know, I think some people, and bless their hearts what they do, and this is driving me nuts, I'm sorry. What these antennas do over time, not just one video, 2 videos, but months of videos of what it does, so you can see how it works over and over and over and over again, is important, because you might want that antenna someday and you get to see how it worked. We got to do it with the AV680, 6 months of work with that. We've had about 4 months with the DX Commander Classic. A lot of antennas were sold to Callum by those videos, by the way. And I'm grateful that you found good value in that, because that's, I still think, the best value there is in ham radio. But to get a directional, it's just too important. But I'm going to miss the Kenwood. Yeah. Next question. We're on the UK now. Your radio log. Now, this is UK intermediate for folks that are M7s. This will get you up. Okay? This licenses you up. All right. Here are the questions. Your radio log can be of considerable assistance in confirming sources of interference to neighbors because it shows when you were on the air. This is similar to the US test. Your log, while not being necessary, it's not legal to keep a log. It protects you if you have a neighbor that complains that all of a sudden your radio station is causing their television or their radio or their home entertainment system to pick up CQ, 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 you know. So that helps you to be able to show them, look, I wasn't even on the air that day. That's why station logs are important. All right, next on the UK. It is not necessary to send your call sign, and the answer here is at the end of every over. In every other one of these instances, it is necessary to send your call sign, and there are questions relating to each one of these on the intermediate exam in the UK. Okay, it is necessary to send your call sign at the start and finish of all periods of transmission. So at the beginning of your QSO with your mate, and at the end, you have to identify your station. It's also important that you have to do it every 15 minutes. In the US, it's 10 minutes, but in the UK, it's every 15 minutes during a long period of transmission. So you're having a nice QSO with your mate in New York, okay? Every 15 minutes, you need to give your call sign. You also need to do it during every CQ call. It's not necessary, though, at the end of every over. And what that means in layman's terms is when you don't have to say, hey, what's the weather over there, mate? This is M7 ABC. You don't need to do that. You say, hey, mate, how's the weather over there? Over. That's it. No call sign needed, okay? Next question. It's recommended that the suffix /p be used with your call sign whilst operating from a temporary location. In which of the following circumstances would this be applicable? The answer when you do the suffix, and again, suffix is at the end of your call sign. So let's say in that same circumstance, Mike 7, ABC. So you'd say Mike 7, Alpha Bravo Charlie. Here you'd say, if you're on scout camp, okay, you're with some scouts like, ADENOIR is there in Brazil, you would say Mike 7, Alpha Bravo Charlie / or slant portable P/P. That's it. Keep that in mind. When you're operating from a friend's house, nope, not necessary. That's not portable. Okay. When using a handheld radio in your car, while being portable, that's mobile. Totally different. While on holiday at a hotel, nope, that's not the case. But when you're on a scout camp trip, yep, slant P. So Mike 7, Alpha Bravo Charlie, slant portable or slant Papa. Simple. Next question. On the UK intermediate, second highest license class in the UK. You're told that your transmissions can often be heard through Wi-Fi. So your neighbor's home entertainment system, they're watching a movie and all of a sudden they're hearing CQ15, CQ15. Okay. It's heard through their speakers. Which of the following symptoms would be indicative of a direct pickup? An example, it is being picked up within the hi-fi or the leads leading to it. So how can you troubleshoot? This is really in layman's terms is, how can you troubleshoot really if your radio is causing this interference? The answer is both AM, which means amplitude modulation, and single sideband signals seem to cause similar interference. That's what it is. Okay, the interference isn't going to go away when you turn your transmitter power down. That has nothing to do with it, okay? Because that has nothing to do with it, period, because you're transmitting RF out there, okay? The interference doesn't change much with a change of transmitted frequency. It has nothing to do with what frequency you're on. It has to do with the fact you're emitting RF, okay? Voices can sometimes be heard. No. Keep in mind the question, okay? You can often be heard through Wi-Fi speakers, okay? Voices can sometimes, they'll always be heard, okay? So the only answer is both AM and single sideband signals seem to cause similar interference. If you have that, then you know that's where your problem is. A good way to fix it, relocate your antenna. That's the best way to fix it. Because by relocating the antenna, you're changing where the source of that RF is coming from. Okay? Happens here with the processing gear. It picks up the RF sometimes, and it depends on the antenna I'm using. So I'll relocate the antenna, and the problem tends to go away. Yeah. Next question. On the UK intermediate, then we'll get to your comments shortly. Why is it generally less important for HF, which means 3 to 30 megahertz antennas, to be polarized the same way than it is for VHF and UHF antennas? Okay, so in layman's terms, why is it not so important for your HF antenna to be exactly the same polarization or the way it picks up signals as it is for VHF and UHF antennas? Why are they different? Well, it's because HF reflection in the ionosphere affects the polarization and makes it less critical. See, HF waves go up through the ionosphere. Because of that, they rotate. The electromagnetic field rotates, and it can change from vertical to horizontal based on the reflection in the ionosphere. Now, VHF, UHF, those are line of sight. They don't go to the ionosphere. So because they don't go up there, they stay the same. That's the answer. So really, once you have that figured out, you're good. Just remember the answer with the ionosphere on this one, and you got it solid, because that's how HF works. Next question on the intermediate for the UK reads, the output, this is going to be, let me get to the first one. Hold on. This is a two-parter. It wouldn't fit on the screen. let me get the question first, okay? The following waveform shows the effect of. Take a look at the waveform carefully. So it's on an oscilloscope. We call that a sawtooth wave here in the US, but that's the waveform. So the following waveform shows the effect of, and here are the given answers. The correct answer is a capacitor placed across the output of a half-wave rectifier to provide a smoothing effect. That's the correct answer. So remember, capacitor across the output. That's the answer. Once you remember the capacitor across the output, and take a look again at the pattern above. It goes across the screen, right? It smooths out across the screen. So when you see this question, remember capacitor and smoothing effect. But you've got to remember, though, it's across the output. So capacitor across the output, smoothing effect, you've got the answer. And there's a lot to that one, but that's a bit technical. So when you see that sawtooth waveform like that, understand capacitor across the output, and you've got it right. Okay? All right. Just a few more on the UK intermediate, and we'll move on. And we're going to do some Morse code today. Looking forward to that. That should be a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoy it. We're going to do more QSOs and words, hopefully that will help you. So we've got, let's see, 3 more UK, 4 more. Let's see. And they're popped up again. I was hoping it wouldn't. I was like, you got a chance. Nope, of course not. In the following diagram of a CW, which means Morse code transmitter, what does the unlabeled block represent? Let's take a look at the blocks. You've got a keying stage there. Then you got a power amplifier. Then you have a low pass filter going to the antenna. Okay. Now from the keying stage, that's where your Morse key goes. So that plugs into your radio basically. Okay. The answer is an RF oscillator. Remember, an RF oscillator is what helps keep the signal on frequency. That's the importance of it. So in this diagram, that first block is an RF oscillator. That's the part that's missing from this, okay? RF oscillator. It's not a balance modulator. That's part of a superhet, but that's not this. A buffer amplifier is a non-existent thing. And an AF amplifier is not here either. This has nothing to do with making the volume of your speakers or your headphones louder. That's an AF amplifier. But an RF oscillator helps you get that CW filter signal on the air. That's what it does. So your CW signal goes out, but it has to start with the RF oscillator. Same with every other super heterodyne. The oscillator comes first. Okay, next question. An inductor can store energy, and the answer in its magnetic field. Remember, an inductor is a large loop. It's basically a large coil, okay? Usually goes around like a ferrite core or something like that, okay? But inside, there's a great magnetic field there. So remember, an inductor stores energy through its magnetic field. It's not because it acts like a secondary coil, and it's not in the current flowing through it. That's the one that will throw you, okay? The answer is, think of an inductor and think of a magnetic field, okay? A loop antenna is a great example of an inductor, okay? It works on the magnetic field of the electromagnetic field of a radio wave. Did you know that? That's why they're quieter. A loop antenna is so much quieter than a vertical or dipole because it doesn't hear the E field. It focuses on the magnetic field. So those same principles apply here to an inductor. Okay, basically a loop antenna works very much like an inductor. It uses the magnetic field, creates current from it, allows you to hear things better. All right, I think we have one more. Let me take a quick look. I think. Could be wrong. Let me take a look. Nope, that's it. That's from the Kenwood. All right, so we're at what? 39:33. We got a little bit to talk about, okay? We made it. Let's do some quick on welcomes. My goodness. Dave from Temecula, California, hot and dry. and Summertime Ready. His call sign, Whiskey 6, Charlie Romeo Tango. Dave, it's always an honor to have you here. Thank you for coming from California today. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Did you have a good Easter? I hope you did. Yep, I hope you did. We had a great Easter, and I wanted to do a show yesterday for you guys, but we had church, and then we met my family. It's the first family dinner we'd had since Christmas Eve of 2019. Seriously. So we met at a restaurant that's really one of my favorites of ever. It was where our mom used to take us for birthdays because it was expensive. So it was kind of a nice place to celebrate. And we met my uncle and my cousin there. First time I've seen him in a year and a half. Man, it was awesome. We didn't get home till like 7. I'm like, I'm not doing a show right now. So glad you understand. All right. So in channel news, Step IR, hopefully Urban Beam coming. We're still trying to get the 1848 built, and it has nothing to do with anything but a terrible, crippling ice storm and a guy that had good intentions that broke the thing. So we're trying to get the right parts back, and parts are hard to get right now, no matter where you are. We still do have, by the way, the Kenwood is shipping out right away as soon as the show is over. I did want to show you a few things for the CW portion of this channel because I made a mistake in the last video and I shuddered over it, okay? On the Kenwood, when you're using the menus, okay, you activate the menus with this button right here. It says menu, convenient, right? Press the button. To go through the menus, you just press the side-to-side buttons, okay? It'll get you through the menus, okay? It'll tell you what you're doing, okay? It gives you all the menu items that you need to do. I incorrectly said it had to do with the multi-knob. That's wrong. You just go through them like this. If you want to change them, you just adjust it up or down through the up and down buttons right here, okay? That's on the 590 Sugar Golf, okay? Lots of controllability up here. And I had a really neat comment come through the channel that asked about the 590 versus the FTDX 10. I think I get this more than anything. It's always regarding the FTDX 10. I think the 10 is a great radio. I think it's well worth the money now, but is a better buy later. Hold on to your money. Wait till it goes down. It will. I think the FTX 10 is the biggest performance bang for the buck there is, period. That's it, period. It's that good. I think the best bang for the buck transceiver is the ICOM 7300. No joke. I think that the FTDX 10 is truly that good. Okay. So we're at 4230. Let me show you a couple more things here on the Kenwood that we can go over before we let it loose and send it to a wonderful ham operator in the state of Illinois, okay? See if we can make a quick little call here.
You don't really need that operator. I mean, everybody's really nice and cordial and has lots to say and so forth.
Again, remember, you can adjust the filter stage to go from triple to double conversion. Right now it's in the double stage. You can see that right here with the A that shows up on the screen. Let's see if I can get you a little less glare here. Hopefully you'll see it. There it is. Okay. This A right here, that tells you in the double super heterodyne stage. If we flip the filter, see it go to B, now we're triple. It also adds more noise because it's bringing in that first IF or intermediate frequency at over 73 megahertz. Less noise when you bring out that big IF. Change it and you'll hear the hash go down. Watch. And of course, he stops talking. But it does. It brings down the noise because you're now going through an down conversion process, which in this case is at about 11.6 megs. We'll see if we can maybe say a quick hello. I don't know if we'll have time. We'll try. Brilliant radio. Boy, is it brilliant. This thing is literally like new. It has just one little scratch on top. That's it. It's been kept so good. Oh, by the way, one of the things for people that might not know about this, you can adjust the tension on the VFO. Similar to many radios, there's a little clip right underneath here that will help adjust the tension of that VFO. All right, we're 45 minutes in. I promised we'd go right to the wonderful world of CQ. Before we do that, Morse code, not CQ. If you'd like to get into ham radio, we would love to have you here. We could use you. We mean that very much, sincerely. Ham radio is a great hobby, and it's growing in Great Britain by leaps and bounds. We would love to have you join us. If you'd like to start in ham radio, and you just don't know where to start because you're thinking, gosh darn it, I don't know where to start. How do I get in? Whether you're in the United States or outside it, go to that website, www.arrl.org. Let them know, fill out the contact form sheet that they have there. Let them know where you are and you'd like to get into ham radio. Where is the nearest ham radio club to me? They will help you. They'll get you right over to them, okay? Also, if you'd like to email the show, have a question regarding a test question, possibly a radio or a product, or maybe you just have a show idea, please contact me, cqhamradiolive@gmail.com. That's cqhamradiolive@gmail.com. Let's learn some Morse code. All right. This is the brilliant Vectronics Pt228. I have used this thing like crazy. I love this little guy. It fits in my pocket, 20 minutes a day, all it takes, okay? Now, I have it set up to operate where it's going to do the Farnsworth method, okay? Remember we talked about Farnsworth on Saturday's show? We talked a little bit about the Farnsworth, or it might have been Friday, I guess, Friday's show. The Friday show, we talked about learning different ways of Morse code. Now, Farnsworth is great because instead of memorizing certain numbers, letters, punctuation marks, and trying to put it all together, you learn it as words. Makes it simple. And the gentleman that we had on the video Friday made a great point where he said, look, when people talk to you, you don't assemble each letter they're saying, you hear the words. Morse code's the same way. This wonderful device, available from MFJ, I think it's $125, is brilliant. Fits in my pocket. I've had 2 apps on my phone, and I've learned like 12 letters. I'm up to 16 now using this, 20 minutes a day. What we're going to do at each show, we're going to give a segment where you can use replay. Just click back 10 seconds, learn the words, learn the letters, learn how it sounds. And that way, hopefully, in a few months, we're going to have CW down pretty good together. This is my way of sharing it with you. But if you'd like to get one of these yourself, find it in the the comment section below. I'll have the link. If you want to buy one of these, they're brilliant. They really are. And they fit right in your pocket. Simple. They're like a deck of cards. It's simple and it's easy to use. Let's take a look at it real quick. By the way, quick hello because he's so far away. Welcome. Our dear friend Nicola is here from Russia. Check it out. His call sign, Radio 7 Delta November. Welcome to the show, Nicola. Welcome. I've got a great sign off for you at the end of the show. You're going to want to watch it all the way to the end. It's brilliant. Okay, we're going to learn some Morse code. This is for the Farnsworth method. Take a look. I'm just going to let this speak for itself. We're going to go to the mic that's on the camera, make it easier for you to hear. And I'm going to just let this play through to help you with Morse code. All right? So away we go. Next comes the audio through the camera here, and away we go. All right, my friends. Good. Hang on a second here. We're going to move you over to me. And I'll give you a good example of this. If you'd like to buy one of these, and I mean, I have, my proficiency has gotten quite a bit better. I feel a lot more comfortable with it. This is the Vectronics. It's called the Pt2. This is what it looks like from the front. You can adjust everything right there, and it's literally that small. It's just real small. And what's nice is it'll give you random words. It will change the time between all of the letters being sent. It's going to be able to help you learn Morse code in a way that's comfortable for you. Now, perhaps you want a good reader. Maybe you have a rig that doesn't have a Morse code reader to help you understand what people are saying. This is another fantastic product. I've used it with the 101, and I found it to be more accurate. Actually, it works well. Has a microphone built in. This is also made by MFJ. However, this is the Pocket CW reader. You can use it with your cell phone if you're skimming web SDRs. This is the MFJ 461. It's got a built-in mic right there. Plus, you can plug in a set of headphones to it if you want to. It's fantastic. So if you want to put in a microphone or you want to listen on headphones, simple. But what's nice about it is when you're using it, it will work brilliantly. Okay, it really will. I'm going to do my best to show you how well it works when you use it in comparison with this code center. Just a second. Okay, so I'm going to have this set up, and let me go ahead and put words per minute up on it so it knows how many words per minute we're doing, and it will just do its thing. Hang on a second here. Okay. All right, so that's ready to go. Let's see it work now with this. I've never done this before, but I've done it with my rig. So let's see how well it does with the reader, okay? So here is the PMT 228, okay? That's where we left off. And here's the Morse code reader, all right? Got a built-in mic right there. So let's send some code and see how this does, okay? I have to have something wrong. Just a second. I've missed that something. Sorry. Just a second. It's ready. Let's go. What am I doing wrong today? Doing something wrong. It's Monday, huh? My goodness. Got the power. We got select. We should have no problem getting this on. Words per minute. Just a second. Ready. Okay. It says it's ready. Let's try it again. This thing has worked well for me. I don't know what's going on. Oh, you know what? I bet it's the words per minute. What's the problem? Hold on. Let me stop this and we'll get this thing up to words per minute because it's got to be that. Gotta be. Right? Gotta be. No. We're having a little problem with this. Houston, we have a problem. Anyway, I have found this to actually work very well. I'm not sure why we're having a problem with it today. Let's blame it on Monday. Let's just blame it on Monday. But I can tell you, seriously, this little Vectronics is brilliant. I mean, I was like at 12 words stuck there, but because I can use it and considerably just listen, I now can hear words. I'm starting to hear words versus just hearing letters. To me, that's a big improvement. It really is. Like, I always knew CQ. That's easy because you see people calling all the time. But when you use this with, you know, like a set of headphones, or you just have it, you know, with you maybe in the car and you're listening, man, I mean, it's just been very helpful for me. I'll have the description of it in the bottom. Let's see if we make a final call on the rig. This is be the final one on the Kenwood. We weren't able to do that on Saturday. So see if we can make a quick call and say hello to somebody somewhere in probably North America. Sean, 73s, buddy. 73's you too, bud.
Good.
Anybody, anywhere, more or less.
And I've worked several guys over the years around Billings, and I worked a guy in 6 meters in Billings for back in the 70s and 80s, and
See if we make a quick hello.
gone now, but I've never been to Montana, and my wife and I want to make a trip through the Badlands and head west, so someday we'll make it into Montana because it is the big sky country, right?
Kilo 7, Hotel November. Just adding more low frequency to it that way. If you're working DX, use the high cut. You're going to bring more like high cut in and lose some of the fidelity, but you'll hear the signal better. You do that here.
Yeah, Roger K7 PAP, W9UD. Yes, I've been told by guys like you what it's like there. And
Now listen with the different incoming filter chain.
Quad Cities, you get out of the Quad Cities, you see corn and soybeans.
That's triple conversion.
We have some hills.
There's
but,
double.
my wife and I made a trip down into
This is double conversion,
Central Illinois, and
triple conversion,
we
adjustable on the 590.
We noted on the way down how flat the country is.
Noise reduction,
There's some areas you can see for miles in all directions. And,
adjustable as well.
so we do have fishing in the hunting. There is fishing on the Mississippi, and of course from the hunting season there is here on the farmland, and all that kind of thing. And there are a lot of hunters around, and there are a lot of boat people too. We have marinas, and there's a sailing club, or there was a sailing club, and so we do have things to do here, but it's nothing like where you are going.
Kilo 7, Hotel November. See if he hears us. If he doesn't, that's okay. Got to show you a little more on the Kenwood, and I'm going to hate to see this go away. By the way, a great receiver. If you've got an 890S, right, single receiver, you add this to it, you now have a real working dual VFO transceiver. It's totally remote from the 890. It will control this transceiver right from the 890 and make life brilliant for you. It's a great way to add a second quality, high-end super heterodyne receiver right into the 890, and it's already designed to do that. This is a great way for folks like Fred who have an 890 to add this transceiver and then have a true dual VFO rig that's going to be controlled from the head of the 890. No kidding. These guys may be at a long rag chew. I'll just make sure they don't hear my call sign, and then we'll just see if we can make a quick CQ call. Maybe someone will hear us. Can barely hear the guy on the other end, just barely. By the way, the Flex 6500 comes in today. So, first showing of the 6500 is going to be on tomorrow's program.
Okay, Scott. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And we're both in our 70s, and we still, well, of course, the COVID is may not be as bad there, but here it was a problem, definitely a problem. And of course, we've been vaccinated and all that. We're going to be traveling to Arizona to see some of the.
See on the RF gain.
in April.
Just a second. Let me see if I can get a better picture of it. Hold on.
Weeks, so we are getting out again. Okay, Scott 73, thank you very much for all the information.
We're at S5. You adjust the RF gain.
I saw one at a ham fest a long time ago.
See, RF gain pulled back. He's right about an S3.
See you later. K7TAT, W9UD. Have a good afternoon.
If you pull him up to S3, it takes away some of the hash and makes his signal sound better. So if you take a look at this meter right here, this is the S meter on the 590SG. His signal is right about S3. Okay, by bringing the RF gain up to that level, it's going to make sure that signals at that level or higher are going to be heard well.
73 Scott, and have a good afternoon.
Kilo 7 Hotel November for a quick one.
Yeah, N7 SHA. N7 SHA, this is W9UD. Thank you for the call. Name is Jim. I'm in northwestern Illinois in the Mississippi. Over.
I don't know if you think that's me. Hold on.
DLT, Owen, very good.
Nope.
N7 SHA. This is W9UD. You're about 5 and 7, 57.
Okay, we'll make our own smoke. Let's tune here to 14237. That way generals can take part. I shouldn't need to tune here, but we'll do it anyway. Run a good antenna. Quick tune. It's just so fast. Here we go. Is this frequency available? This is Kilo 7 Hotel November. Hear the clunkiness of the mic. That's what I don't like about it. This is one thing I hate about this rig. You just hear it clicking. Oh. Is this frequency available? This is Kilowatt 7 Hotel November. Just gonna add a little mic gain. CQ20, any station, anywhere. This is Kilo 7 Hotel November, K7 Hotel November, calling CQ. CQ, calling CQ to any station, anywhere. From the Pacific Northwest of Oregon, this is Kilo 7 Hotel November, K7 Hotel November, calling CQ. CQ, calling CQ live on Ham Radio Live. This is Kilo 7 Hotel November, Kilowatt 7 Hotel November, calling CQ and listening. Processing is pretty low. Let's take a look now at the compression. Let's see what we got. CQ, any station, anywhere. This is Kilo 7 Hotel November, K7 Hotel November, calling CQ. CQ, any station, anywhere. We're on Ham Radio Live on YouTube. We'd love to make a call with you. This is Kilowatt 7 Hotel November, Kilowatt 7 Hotel November, calling CQ to any station, anywhere, and listening. And one of the things about live shows is you're counting on someone hearing the signal in a very short amount of time. It does make it difficult. Someone has to see the signal on a pan adapter or listen for it, hear it, and be able to make the call in a very short amount of time. That's why you don't always hear CQ calls answered here. Well, one more try. CQ, any station, anywhere. This is Kilo 7 Hotel November. Kilo 7 Hotel November, calling CQ. CQ, calling CQ. Kilo 7 Hotel November. Kilowatt 7 Hotel November, calling CQ. CQ, any station, anywhere, from the northwest of Oregon and streaming on YouTube. This is Kilo 7 Hotel November, K7 Hotel November, calling CQ to any station, anywhere, and listening. And hearing nothing back. So that's okay. We will close that part out, turn the lights back up. And my first email, my first call to them, by the way, came to Juneau, Alaska. It was wonderful. First call right out of the box. It was great. But people have to be listening for CQ calls, and it's a short window because we got to close the show. By the way, stay for the sign off. Oh my gosh, it's the most incredible sign off you'll ever see. I know that the subtitles go fast, but truly, it's worth seeing to the end. It'll blow your mind, especially the part, no joke, especially the part where the person says, where it says on there, it is forbidden to contact your doctor. I'm not kidding. It says that. So watch the sign off today. It's well worth it. Okay. We'll say hellos and goodbyes. Sean has to go. His call sign, Mike 0, Bravo Juliet Lima. It's always a pleasure. And thank you, Sean, for coming. It's always a thank you. Thank you, Sean. All right. And we got Dave. Davey, thank you. You're very welcome. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to answer questions on email. If you'd like to email the show, there it is right there. CQHamRadioLive@gmail.com. That's CQHamRadioLive@gmail.com. Big congratulations to the channel, from the channel, I should say, to Rod Clear. Rod just passed not only his general, but he also passed his amateur extra. Yeah. Congratulations. And I'm so grateful, Rod, that the channel was helpful to you. That's the whole point. That's 10 now. And 10 is the hopeful number that, we can get to another 9. And then everything else is bonus, because the hope was to help 19 people get licensed for each one of the years I missed out on, not knowing that they took code out. Now, if I had known back in the day that they had things like this, gizmos like this to help you learn code, I'd have been in there a lot sooner. I had to try it on a record album. Imagine picking up the record stylus over and over again to hear the letter A. Oh my gosh, it was awful. It was just brutal. So thanks to MFJ for this wonderful Vectronics Pt228. This is just a magical little box, and it helps big time. All right. Big time hellos and goodbyes. Digital Analog Ham. Hey, man, welcome back. Been a while. Welcome back to the show. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Flex Radio 6500 coming to the channel starting tomorrow. We'll see how well that goes. Kevin, thank you. You honor me. Mike 0, MCL, another full licensee from the Great Britain. Whenever I see a mate from Great Britain, it means a lot. Anyone from the UK means a lot to me, so thank you. Anyone anywhere in the world means a lot, because I'm just a simple guy, man. I just do a YouTube channel that hopefully helps to bring enthusiasm, fun, and a little bit of lightheartedness to ham radio. It doesn't have to be so technical, folks. It doesn't have to be so rigid. It can be fun too. That's the whole point. Stu, thank you for your kind words. And yes, big congratulations to Rod in Oregon for passing the 2 big ones. That was great. Man, he sent me a very kind email. And you'll understand when people say nice things. I don't always read it. It's because I try and stay humble here. This channel was made to help people. That's really what it's about. So you coming means a lot to me. And it was something I never, ever thought would happen. we'd have regular folks from around the world come to watch the channel. I'm going to do my best to make it entertaining, fun, and learning for you. And I hope you can learn something from the CW segment, replay it, learn the rhythm of the letters and what they're saying. Pretty soon, you'll have it. It works. Trust me, it really does. Just get that practice in. 20 minutes a day is what Mr. Martin F. Jew says to do. And I believe him. Works for me. All right. This sign off is brilliant. It is back from, what was it? 85. So, Soviet Union broadcast from 1985. Watch it all the way through. Trust me, there's subtitles. You may have to pause the screen to see them all because they go fast. But what it says, you got to see it. You got to see it. 73 from Oregon. It has been my honor and privilege to see you this Monday. God bless you all. My name's Larry. My call sign is Kilo 7 Hotel November. Until tomorrow, we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody. Something just came in. Hold it. This is too important. Davy Crockett passed the extra exam Saturday. Hey! My goodness, buddy. Congratulations. You are an extra. I'm so happy for you. You get the big ups. Here you go. Congratulations, man. Really, I mean that. I hope the channel helped. If it did, tell me, would you? Because that means it's 11, and that's one more closer to 19. But if it didn't, be honest with me. I'd rather know truth than fiction. Thanks for watching. Back to the sign-off. I had to stop. When you see this, that someone passed the extra, you've got to give credit right away. Davey, congratulations. All right, here's the sign-off, everybody. Watch it to the end, and you might want to replay this slowly to read what it says. It'll blow your mind. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day.